Hey everyone, it's Victoria here. Got a new video I want to drop on you guys today. I had a question in the group. I had someone ask me about how do you trade the news. So Friday I had posted in a group, guys, we have news today. So just, be aware of that. And then the short answer on how to trade the news, guys, is if you're following the market maker pattern, okay, which is let me annotate this here really quick. You have your WBVM, and then you have your MAAW. I haven't drawn these in a while. So here's your levels of your push, right? And then you have your consolidation, right? So you want to keep an eye on that because that's the pattern you want to follow. So the news really only just moves, it just moves the market to either complete the cycle, start a new cycle. Oftentimes you can see it in one big bar, like you'll see a huge bar. And in that bar, if you drop down to lower timeframes, you'll see it's like 3 pushes, right? It's usually 3. I don't remember seeing 4, but it's around 3 pushes, and that completes that cycle. It could complete the ADR, and it could just really get that pair ready to move to the, to start trending, right? To the alternate trend, whichever way it's going. So because I looked at the news and I saw CAD was in the news and the dollar was in the news, I was like, okay, these red folders, that's what I was looking at to trade. Okay, so on Friday, I traded the pound CAD, the euro CAD, the dollar CAD, and the CAD JPY. Those were the 4 pairs that I traded because I didn't trade the Aussie CAD. It was a 1 peak formation. I probably should have, but I didn't because I was really looking at the 2 peaks and the 3 peaks. And then I've been watching EuroCAD because it's been sitting in this 7, it's been like in a peak formation high for 7 days. So I knew this one was going to be, it was going to complete hopefully on Friday. And then when the trading session opens, this chart will update and we'll see what we got for us, right, with the new week. So let's go, guys. Let's show you real quickly some of the trades. Like I shared with you, I took GCAD, CJ, EC, and UC. It was a total of 144 pips. So it was a good day, right? If that was the only day I traded, then that would have been great, but it wasn't the only day I traded, right? But it's a good way, to use the news to help you to see which pairs you want to look at. So I'm going to switch over to my MT4 and I'm going to go through some of the rules, right? I'm going to go through some of the stuff that I look for, just like a top-down analysis, right down to getting the entry configured so that you can go ahead and execute that trade properly, okay? So what you're looking at here, guys, of course, is the Gcash Dash. Like I shared with you guys, I love to use this thing to help me quickly analyze the markets, which pairs that I want to look at. And then when I'm done looking at them, then I often sometimes just trade from here. But for this video, I went ahead and opened up 4 of the tabs that I did trade, and then we're going to go through them. I think I already did this one for time, but let's start with the EuroCAD. Okay, we'll start with this. And as you can see, I'm at the 4-hour. I dropped these harmonics on here, guys, just to see, right, the patterns, really getting used to watching these harmonics on the higher time frame, primarily the 4-hour, and just kind of what you're doing here is to see on the just, hey, do we have big fat M's or W's, on the higher time frame. And then I also like to come here and I mark the crosses, right? So that obviously is down, right? So I marked that, looking at the TDI, we're all the way down here. And this is another good indication that this thing is going to switch over, right? So now I'm going to drop down to H1. As you can see, that's where I marked the previous crosses right here from H4. So H1 right here, we can see that the 200 and the 800 cross. And I want you guys to notice something. This is what you consider a golden cross, right? From, would say, I guess this is a good area for it, right? But as you can see, guys, this thing has been falling. Probably not the best example of a golden cross, because usually the golden crosses is when all the EMAs cross, like right at the same time. Okay, and then everything just kind of falls. I mean, this to me kind of looks like a golden cross. So H1, I've identified that we are still down. Okay, we're still down. None of this has happened yet. Okay. Another thing that I like to note is the time that I show up at the market, because I am in Pacific Standard Time. So this is the time when I'm usually at the market around this time. So I'll mark that on my chart. Okay. And then from there, I'm going to drop down to the 15-minute. Okay. And again, none of this has happened yet. All I can see is from here, right? From this line here on here onwards there, right? And I see that we have yesterday's high has been tapped here, already been tapped 1, 2, 3 times. So to me, that's looking like, okay, I'm looking to go short, because remember, this was a peak formation high, right? Looking to go short. So this little small pullback looked like it happened a little bit in the London while I was still asleep. Okay, so I mean, if you were over here trading this one, you got a little bit of pips, right? It's about 19 pips right there, right? But I'm looking for every reason to go short. Okay, that's all I'm looking for. Now you can hop. Now I like to see these little pivots, right? This peak formation indicator, I believe this is a brilliant one. Can't hardly see it, but these reversal things here are really awesome. You get them for free when you get my journal. I give you all that cool stuff for free, although you do get a ton of other stuff, right? For free, right? So, but when you get the journal that I put together, then you'll get some additional bonus stuff that I think will be beneficial to you. So I dropped down to the 5-minute now. Okay, remember, none of this has happened. Okay, all I can see is here to here. And I see yesterday's high and low here. So this is a good sign, right? It's always good when price interacts with liquidity. Okay, so what I'm going to do is start getting my entry prepared. So I like it when I see these highs and low pivots here. Just what I call them. I don't know what they are. Swing high, swing low. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the fib on there. Oh, before I do that, let me delete that. You want to also kind of see where is your support. Okay. And right now I'm seeing the 200 is right here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and identify that. I'm going to identify this support level. Okay. I'm doing this because we're looking for the 3 taps, right? 3 taps of the high, because we want to go short. We're looking for every reason to go short today or Friday. Okay. We're just pretending it's Friday, right? We're back testing. This is back testing, by the way. Okay, this is back testing. It's not future predicting what the market is going to do. I've kind of already told you guys this thing has been down for 7 days. So I'm expecting this thing to go up come Monday or Tuesday. I don't know when it's going to give it up, but one of those 2 days it's going to finally go up, because obviously, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Back to where we are. We're on Friday. I've identified that this is the area of support. And remember, I'm just drawing this out because none of this has happened yet. I'm identifying that the 200 is right here, and the 200 is going to give me the resistance. I guess I said support. I call support and resistance the same thing. So just to just so I can be clear, I'm just going to call this the SNR. All right, this is the SNR area because we're going to have resistance on this 200 here. So let me go back and drop these fibs here. I'm going to go from here to that point. Okay, and then we know that your area of retracement is what the 38, between the 38.50 and the 61, right? So now I'm going to go ahead and shade this area out. I'm going to identify this. This is the golden area people talk about all the time. We'll fill this one in. That is important. Okay. So we're looking for, now we're looking for, when are we going to enter this market, right? We've identified everything that we need to do on the M5, okay? identified the support and resistance zone. We know we're looking to go short. So we're looking for resistance on either one of these fib points, right? Okay. Okay. For those of you who love fibs, for those of you who, most of you guys should know, if you're new to the BTMM strategy, guys, we often just use the EMAs, right, for areas of support and resistance, pulling back, pinning from those areas. But throwing the fibs in there adds extra confluence, and there's nothing wrong with adding confluence, right? The TDI is extra confluence as well, okay? That's what we're looking for. So I came to the market right here, right? So I could have totally entered this market right around here, totally. So I could have said, okay, I'm looking to, I can mark this area. None of this has happened yet, obviously. So I would have just made a mark somewhere, right? That's the area that I'm looking for. But nonetheless, I'm gonna go ahead and take that off. Nonetheless, you've identified what you need to identify. So all you're looking for now is those 3 taps that I'm talking about to go short. So let's hop on over to the 15-minute. I'm gonna take this off, right? I like clean charts, okay? I've already identified what I needed. So now I'm just gonna wait, okay? I can see with the TDI, we have a little intraday shark fin here, right? It already happened, right? So now it's crossing back down. So now I'm just waiting for this thing to cross again on this TDI, extra confluence when this thing crosses, okay? Right there. So let's see, what do we have here? We can say this is 1, 2, and then a 3 tap, right? It's kind of clustered together, right? But that's all I'm waiting for. This is telling me we're going down, right? I'm waiting for this. You can even wait. See the 50 right here, because we are looking for the pullback on that 50, right? Right? So we can even wait for this thing to actually, right? Here's this tap right here, okay? We can use that as an entry point, okay? Or you can wait until it absolutely closes. Now, you're gonna have this when the market decides to go back up there, right? And try to take out the high. But let's say you went ahead and entered right here. Once you got these other 3 little micro taps or whatever you want to call them, you could have put your stop loss here. That one. So what was that? It's about 14 pip stop loss, right? You got to give yourself some room sometimes, but if you want to get any tighter than that, you can probably go to this next pivot point here or right here. But for me, I would use that as my stop loss, right? I want to get closer, guys. Honestly, I do. Let me drop down to the 5-minute. I'm going to be watching this from the 5-minute because I want to see, let's get closer to this stop loss. That was my entry there. Yeah, if I had this right here, I would have gotten taken out, right? We don't like that. But if you would have gotten taken out, guys, so what? Go back in. Don't hesitate, but go back in. So this is why I kind of like to go with these other, the higher pivots, right? So that'll be the stop loss, which is fine. All right. So now execute your trade. You see how price came to, to yesterday's low, came back again to yesterday's low. Okay. So if you see this thing go back up, right, like it's trying to take out a stop again, it's just trying to fake you out. Don't worry. Don't worry about that. Okay. It's not going to take you all the way out, right? For your TP, you can use the ADR, right? I always like to use the ADR, especially when I know there's news, because prices are most likely going to come down to that. And it did. Okay. So just this box right here, this identifies New York. It's always going to pull back, right? You're going to have slight pullback in New York. Don't panic about that either. Okay. So this right here, guys, you would have gotten this thing right there. You would have had a good 68 pips. Okay. Boom. That's it. And the other thing too, I want you guys to make note of, you can use the TDI, see where the trade signal line crosses back over. And you can see you have a little morning star pattern here. Okay, little doji thing happening, you know it's reversing. So you can exit that. You can exit the trade there as well. Okay. Or you can exit right when it crosses. You see how the green crosses over again, you can exit there too. But usually the trade signal line is boom, it's like right there. Okay. But for me, my exit would be the 80 arc. It's always going to give you a little bit more sometimes. There's some trades where it will go a little bit more beyond the ADR, but you know, I'm not greedy, I guess, right? Sometimes I am, but not that greedy. Okay, but that's how I would execute this trade. Okay, so let's do it again. Let's go to CAD. So this is CAD. Let me refresh this screen. But all of my stuff shows back up. There we go. So again, higher time frames. H4, we're looking for the overall direction here, and we can see this thing is so long. Okay, so I'm going to come here and I'm going to identify the crosses because this is support. Go drop down to H1. I am looking for crosses. I don't see the crosses, but what do I see here? I see here that the EMAs are spread out. And when the EMAs are spread out, that's an indication that this is also looking to, it's in level 3. I don't know how long it's going to be in level 3 before it goes over to the new trend, right? But here's my mark from H4. As you can see, the 800 and the 200 did cross over there. And we're in level 3. So I'm looking to go long again, right? The other thing I'm going to do is mark the time that I would have showed up, which is right there. So none of this has happened yet. Okay. Everything price is above all of this. So I'm like, okay, looking for reasons to go long today, right? TDI price is above the market baseline. Okay. Usually when you see this, when prices come all the way up here, it's typically for the Forex pairs, it typically isn't going to go down that day. It's just really like a heads up for the next day. You're looking for it to go down. Now, when it comes to the indices, that could be a different story. Sometimes it will go down that same day, right? But with the Forex pairs, it's a little bit safer. Okay. You can trust this a little bit more for it to do its thing the next day. All right. So now we're going down to the 15. What am I looking for here? I am looking for, here's the cross. Okay, this cross obviously happened. So this was Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, this cross right here. And you know, we're looking for that because that's the 50 and 200 cross, right? We see that the first pullback already happened here. Okay, so now we're looking for the second pullback, which is right here, which is, we're expecting it to happen here because guess what? This hasn't happened yet, right? Hasn't happened yet, but we know it's coming. Okay. So now we can see that the that prices interacted already with the previous day high. Okay. As far as we can see before this, prices again are still up. So now let's go and look for where our entries are going to be. Drop down here to the M5. So let's see. So I'm going to go with this, right? Now with this fib stuff is really subjective, right? I'm going to go with this one. This looks lower than that. I'm going to take it right to when I showed up and see if that's going to work out for me, right? If it doesn't work out for me, whoop-de-doo, just do it again, right? Oh, keep forgetting. I got to identify my levels of S&R, right? Definitely got to identify that. So as we can see here, we can see here we are with the 200, we have this level. So I'm going to bring this all the way out. That is our level of support. If I can identify this thing, there we go. I make this one hollow because I need it to be different, right? I need it to be different because I'm counting my 3 taps to the low, okay? Now you can go ahead and write these in if you want to, until you get it down. So this is, and I'm counting London, but looks like 1 tap here, right? So I'm waiting for 2 and 3. Okay. So let me go back and draw the golden zone. So where did I say I liked this one? Right to the date time that I got to the chart, which was right there. It's pretty tight. So let's see. Go ahead and drop this on here. This is a good roundabout area. Okay. Go on to, let's see what it looks like on the 15. Okay. Now, you can redraw this thing after you've waited a little bit, right? You can. So what I'm going to do now, take this off. I like clean charts. Okay, so what am I looking for, guys? Right, the 3 taps. So here's 1 tap, here's 2, and then here's the 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. It's kind of clustered again, but it's still, nonetheless, it's a tap, right? So you could have entered this railroad from here. There's a little pivot right here. Okay, maybe I need to make my pivots a different color because it's matching my my candle right there. Nonetheless, I can see the little ball right there. So this is good enough for me, okay? Because what do I see here on the 15-minute also? I got my 3 taps. I got my support, my S&R here. I got my little golden zone here, right? I got the 50. I mean, this is a beautiful entry right here. Okay. This is one where you could have had a stop loss right here. See, this is yesterday's high, right? You could have used that as your stop loss. You can put it right under there. That's about 10 pips. Okay, not bad, right? If you want to go a little more, you can, 25, but we want as tight as possible, right? If we get stopped out, we get stopped out. We just go back in whenever it presents itself again. But this is a good stop loss, 8 to 9 pips. What? Are you kidding me? It's a good stop loss. Okay. Let's see what this looks like on H1. Okay, beautiful. 1, 2, 3. So we have 1, 2, and 3. You can count this. 1, 2, and 3. Right? Boom. Enter. Okay. CJ, I think I originally had, y'all are going to probably laugh at me because I originally had this thing going to the ADR, right? 55 pips. I think I had re-entered it because it kept going up. I was like, oh, this is going to keep giving. Okay. But yeah, that's the take profit zone, right? You can totally take profit right at the ADR, or if you have these reversal points right here, you can use that, right? This is, look where the TDI crossed right here when it started to, it drew the reversal thing. So now it's starting to reverse. You can do that as well. So you have room to do whatever you want. But you see how beautiful that was? Okay, you want to do another one? Let's go to the pound. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to go to H4. Okay, again, we're just overall direction, right? This thing is short. So I'm just going to identify the crosses, 50 and 200, drop down to H1. You can see it right here. Okay, now here's a good example of what I would probably consider the golden cross right here. Like everything just kind of crossed right there, boom. Then we have our 800 and 200 cross there. So now I'm going to identify the time that I showed up. Okay. Let's look at H1, right? Again, we're looking for reasons here to go short, right? Look and see that none of this has happened yet here, but we can see already prices are underneath the 50. It's already pinned here. You know, that was a previous day. The current day, you know, prices are at the previous day low. So that's awesome. I always like for price to interact with that. Okay. So now we're going to see, we kind of see that the pullback has already happened a little bit there in New York. I mean, not New York, in London. So if you were available for this and you wanted to take it, you could have taken it. I mean, GCAT is always giving, right? It's lovely. All right, so let's drop down in 5. This video is probably a little longer than what I expected it to be, but hope you're enjoying it. If you are, go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification button, you know, show your love, okay? All right, so this is the M5. I am going to draw, support, right? We can see that the SNR, your SNR levels, we see here the 200 just sitting right here. So I'm going to go ahead and identify that. Okay. I guess from London is fine, right? So remember, this is the area of SNR. Get that down first. Okay. Now I'm going to draw this lines from that area to when I showed up. Okay. So now I'm going to add the golden zone, which is around here too. Let's shade that one in. Okay. So again, I'm looking for the 3 taps, right? So as far as I can see right now, first one has showed up. First tap has showed up, right? Because remember, I got here, I'm here, right? So now I'm just gonna wait for the 3 taps. So that's tap 1. As I'm sitting here waiting for price to do its thing, right? We got our first tap right here, okay? So let me go to M15, let's see what that looks like. Go ahead and delete this. Okay. So we got our first tap there. Second tap showed up. Third tap, boom. And we have this reversal signal right there. The cool thing is the order block, I don't know if I didn't even mention the order blocks on the other ones, but also here. Okay. So you can totally enter this right there. You can see that your area for the golden zone is down there. Notice that sometimes if you wait for that to happen, you could have missed the earlier entry, or maybe you could have probably done your entries. Like I said, the Fibonacci to me is subjective on the swings. right? So you just kind of play around with it until you get comfortable with what you like in terms of the highs and lows. And I just picked from that pivot to which is made sense, unless I would have probably picked from this one, but I picked from that one. Either way, this is working, right? Works out for me. So again, your entry would be there and my exit would be here. Or if you had multiple take profit zones, you could have one at your ADR, and then you can have one when you see the market is really truly reversing. But again, this was Friday. So do you want to be greedy on a Friday? Well, I don't know, right? Stop loss. So if you entered here, stop loss, here's 12. I would have gone a little bit higher with this one because it is the pound. These things are nuts with these spikes, right? Absolutely nuts with the spikes. So with this one, my stop loss would have been above the 200, okay? 17. Sometimes you got to go to 20 pips stop loss on these things. So we got our 3 taps. It tried to come back up here, guys, and take us out, right? It tried, right? But I showed you what you could do to kind of protect yourself. A little bigger stop loss for the pound pairs, okay? And let's see how many pips was this if you got in that early. 68. Actually, right here, right? 65, 66.5. Not bad. That's pretty darn good. Okay. All right. So let's look at it on H1. Maybe that small. Look at that. 1, 2, 3 taps to the high. And then we are going short. Okay. Beautiful trade. And the UCAD, I did this one already for you all. Okay. Speed things up. Identified that we are looking for reasons to go short. Okay, we got the cross there. H1 identified the time that I showed up, and we have the cross there. Okay, I drop down to M15. Let's see if we have another cross there for the safety. Yep, we have the cross there. Okay, we have our first pullback to the EMAs here. So now we're waiting for that second pullback. Money, money, money. Okay. TDI, when I showed up, prices are underneath. Okay. What we're looking for. And again, this one's going to give us an idea of markets reversing on the next trading session. So hopefully this thing will pull back, go up. Maybe it happened Monday or Tuesday, I don't know. Okay, but for Friday or for right now, right, we've already dropped down to the 5 minute. I dropped down here and I added my support, as we can see clearly that the 200 is right here. So I drew that box. And remember, none of this has happened. All I can see is just this right here. Okay, so I added my my pivot with my golden zone, and I already showed you what that looks like. Okay. And so now just waiting for the 3 taps. Okay, wherever you can see this stuff clear, that's just whatever time frame that you're going to be watching, right? As long as it's super clear. Now this one has been tappity tap like crazy, right? Like consolidation right here. So you know this thing is going down big time. Right here, you can totally just wait. Okay, you can wait for prices to completely like look at even retested, did the whole retest on the yesterday's low. It retested the 13 EMA, but definitely this thing is down, right? So if I would have entered this, I could have waited, and I think I did wait. I did wait to enter this, but I could have entered it sooner, right? Could have totally entered it sooner. Okay, So here's the options of entering it here. I mean, you're totally safe. So if you do enter it here, right, it's your entry, then what's your stop loss? You can use any one of these, right? Here's a 10 pip stop loss right here. 15 pips stop loss. To get 65 pips. Shucks. I've noticed the UCAD is very slow though. It's super slow. Okay, now remember this is New York, so we're always going to get a bit of a reversal in New York, right? If it's too much to handle, then exit the trade and then go back in. Okay, but you're always going to get a bit of pullback. Sometimes it's pretty deep. It's like you're all of a sudden in profit and then you're like negative profits. You're like, what happened? Right? Sometimes it's really, really deep and it goes so close to, you know, where you entered, right? Sometimes that does happen. All right. But like I said, when you have that news like that, right? And when you can see that this is your second, right? We're in M15. So we know that this is the second pullback to the EMAs. So this is going to be a solid trade. Like this is the trade setups that you're looking for. Okay. That's why I look for the 2 to 3, even sometimes the 4 peak formation highs and lows. Because I'm looking to see where, okay, did the first pullback already happen? Did we already have the cross on the 15-minute? You know, so the next day I can really prepare myself to continue on with this trade beautifully. And I said, the market, the news did not like move this one as fast as what I've normally seen it do. It was just a nice regular trading session. If you ask me, it wasn't anything crazy where, you know, the bars are just super long. And I know you've seen them, right? You've seen them when the bars are super long and it's like, what the heck happened here? It's news. So, you know, the next day or the next trading session, right? You're looking to see the reversal and you're just watching to make sure you don't get trapped either, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I reviewed, you know, a ton of stuff, top-down analysis from H4 all the way down to M5, even using Fibs, and I never use Fibs, right? But I figured, you know, a lot of people are asking about it. There's a lot of commentary, Fibs in the chat, so I was like, let me go ahead and start dropping these in here to use as confluence, right? There's nothing wrong with that, you know, so it's a really good strategy to help you with your entries. And remember those 3 taps to the high or 3 taps to the low. Make sure that you identify where your crosses are to, again, confirm, right? Always looking to confirm before you execute those trades. Always practice and demo, guys. And then when you're ready, then you go in with your real money. All right, so that'll be a wrap. Please don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks.